So the name is, so we are live. Okay. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. So
Oh,
today is your exam. I believe your name that I have here is Anas Khan. Okay.
yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Bismillah. So the exam is going to be pretty straightforward. This is level 3 exam, which is equivalent to A-level qualification, right? Um, now, there's a ton of things that we're doing right now. You have gone through the courses. You were registered in February 2023, right?
Yeah,
And then you studied and you completed, and now you're going for the final exam. Then you're going for the level 4 exam after this, level 3. You want to go for level 4?
yes, as well.
Okay. Now, there are a couple of things I want to tell you. You have gone through the MCQs. We have recently detected, we knew about this for quite some time, but now we have implemented a policy. We are going to audit your MCQ exams, right? And
Okay,
that is being audited right now through utilizing big data and artificial intelligence. So we have a big data platform known as Al-Basir, which means the all-seeing. And the Al-Bari is the platform, the evolver, the maker. That is the AI platform that we have, which is analyzing the data, right? At the
okay,
back end, it utilizes Claude, it utilizes OpenAI, it utilizes Falcon, it utilizes different LLMs, large learning models, right? So there's a mixture of things that it utilizes to ensure that it verifies the integrity, the authenticity, uh, and various other principles to ensure that there is no fraud. So, for example, if someone is doing an exam on their first attempt, you know, by scoring 80, 90%, something like that, that is a red flag. So there's a lot of red flags that we have configured, right? We call them fraud detection controls. If we found out, and we have recently found out more than 15 people doing this, right?
yeah,
So we are communicating with them, discussing with them, just to ensure that if this is true or not. So what we do is like we give you another test in front of
okay,
us, at least 5 or 6 that you have to do. If you can ace those exams in the time that you have mentioned, that you have performed as per the data, then you should be able to do the same thing with this one as well. The exams can
okay,
come from anywhere. The whole idea is that we want to see what, if you have been honest, right?
okay,
We do trust our students, but trust is not a control. So it has to be trust, but verify, right? So level 3 exam is pretty straightforward. You have a presentation topic. The presentation topic is pretty, because level 3 is easier than there is level 4, level 5, and then there's level 6, right? So all of these
yeah,
things are very important. The other thing is we have started our journey of getting off-call accreditation as well directly, right? Pearson phase 1 is also done as well. So there's a lot of different regulations that we have to comply with. And essentially, all of these diplomas are part of EduQual, Pearson, off-call, the same thing. So we will be using the same kind of controls through and through, right? Because we deem all the qualifications as critical and core to what we provide, and they all go through the same stringent controls, okay? So I wish you the best. Let's start the process. You have already went through some of the requirements of how this exam will go through, right?
yeah,
What I'm looking for is your subject area expertise, how you're able to present yourself, and what are the use cases you have mentioned. And then based on that, I am going to ask you some of the questions. There are 25 questions. So the exam is divided into 2 parts. 25, there is total 100 marks, total 50 marks, not 100, 50 marks. So 25 is for the presentation, okay? And then
okay.
25 is the follow-up interview that I'm going to take. Okay. Uh, I wish you the best. Let's
So I
start.
shall
If
start.
you have any questions, you can always, raise your
Sure.
hand and ask me. If when I'm going to start the interview process, if you see that you can't understand the question, you can ask me, can you please repeat that again? I will do so. You have 15 to 20 minutes to start presenting what you have. Let's start.
Okay, sure. So my screen is visible.
Yes, I can see it.
So, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. My name is Anas Khan. So, this is my presentation topic, ransomware defense and response using open source tools in multi-cloud environment. So, I will discuss here open source tools specifically like LaMAV and Suricata with integration with multi-cloud environment like AWS, Azure, and GCP. So, moving to the next slide. So here is the overview of my presentation. So what we'll be covering the next couple of slides. First, we will discuss introduction to ransomware. What is ransomware? Then we will discuss open source tools for ransomware defense like LaMAV and Suricata. And we will discuss after that multi-cloud environment like AWS, Azure, and GCP, integration, security tools, automated remediation strategies, challenges, and mitigation strategies. And then we will discuss it conclusion. So moving to the next slide. First, introduction to ransomware. First, we need to know what is ransomware. So ransomware is a type of malicious software or malware is designed to block access to a computer system or data until a sum of money, usually cryptocurrency, is paid to the attacker. What it does, it basically encrypts the victim files, making them inaccessible and demand a ransom exchange for a decryption key. So encryption-based attack, ransomware encryption files on the victim computers or network, rendering them unusable without the decryption key. Variety of delivering methods, how it's spread. So it can be delivered through phishing emails, like malicious websites, software vulnerabilities, and even other social engineering ways. Double extortion. Some ransomware not only encrypts data, but also threaten to release sensitive information if ransom is not paid. So it will be huge consequences. Financial and operational impact, I would say it can cause significant financial losses, downtime, and data breaches, disrupting business operations and reputation damaging as well. So here is the whole life cycle of ransomware. First is initiate the attack, where the attacker begins by modifying ransomware code, then selecting a distribution method like emails, SMS, or any other social engineering way. Then exploit, expand, and understanding. A code is used to send a line of communication back to the attackers, allowing them to download additional malware to your system and evaluate what access they currently have. So at next stage, the tax filtration and extortion. At this stage, hackers commonly demand payment for decryption or that a victim pays to prevent their data from being leaked online. Activation in encryption at this stage, now the attacker execute, meaning the payload is executed and files and everything are encrypted. And then step is ransom request. So the victim receive a message containing a ransom demand along with the amount and time frame and consequences if ransom is not paid. Payment and recovery, if you pay, your file should be decrypted. If not, so you will lose your whole critical asset or data. So this was the whole life cycle of ransomware. Moving to the next slide. Overview of multi-cloud environment. First, we need to know what is multi-cloud environment. So a multi-cloud environment is a strategy that involves using multi-cloud compute services like from different cloud providers such as AWS, Azure, and GCP to distribute workloads, increase resilience, and optimize performance. This approach helps organizations to avoid vendor lock-in and leverage the unique strength of each cloud services. What is the benefits of multi-cloud environment? So enhanced flexibility and redundancy, multi-cloud environment allow organization to distribute applications and data across different cloud platforms, reducing the risk of single point of failure in the event of ransomware attack happen or any other incident happen. Diverse security tools, each cloud provider offer distinct security features, enabling a layered defense strategy and utilizes the best of AWS, Azure, and GCP ransomware detection and response capabilities. Improved incident response, a multi-cloud approach allows rapid isolation of affected system and quicker recovery from ransomware attacks by leveraging cross-cloud backups and automated failure mechanism. Compliance and risk management, multi-cloud strategies help organizations to comply with regulatory requirements and data sovereignty laws, which is crucial in maintaining during and after ransomware attack happen. So these are the all benefits of multi-cloud environment. So moving to the next slide. So here is each cloud requires a different approach to secure. Like each cloud provider offer on services, like AWS offer compute services. They are saying EC2, Azure saying virtual machine, Google compute instance. But behind that scenario is same. It's a server, it's a virtual machine. Security services, AWS offer AWS firewall, web application firewall, Azure offer Azure firewall, and Google offer GCP, DLP, so on and so forth. So management management services, AWS offer CloudWatch, Firewall Manager. So same like that, Azure offer platform offer AWS, VPC, Elastic Load Balancer, and VPC, so on and so forth. So each cloud provider offer on services, but behind that, well, logic and scenario is same, I would say. So moving to the next slide, open source tools for ransomware detection and prevention. So what is open source tools and how we can use them to use for ransomware detection and prevention. So open source tools for free software solution developed by the global community to detect, prevent, and respond to ransomware attacks. They offer powerful, customizable, and cost-effective security capabilities, allowing organization to build a multi-layered defense against ransomware. So I will discuss here 3 open source tools which is widely used in organization for ransomware detection and prevention. OSEC, open source security, a host-based intrusion detection system that monitors system logs and file integrity. It detects anomalies indicating ransomware infection and integrating with multi-cloud setups. ClaimAV is another open source tool which is widely used in organization for ransomware and malware detection, an antivirus engine that detects ransomware and malware across multi-cloud platforms, offer real-time scanning, making it ideal for using in AWS, Azure, and GCP. Suricata, it's another open source tool which is widely used in organization for specifically, it's a network security tool which act as an IDS, intrusion detection system, and intrusion prevention system that analyze the network traffic, identify ransomware communication patterns, and block data exfiltration attempts. So these are the widely used open source tool for ransomware detection and prevention. So moving to the next slide, integration with AWS, Azure, and GCP security solution. So how we can integrate these open source tools in multi-cloud environment like AWS, Azure, and GCP. So integrating open source tools like ClaimAV and Suricata with cloud native security platforms, we can use AWS like AWS Security Hub, Azure Sentinel, and GCP Security Command Center, strengthen ransomware detection and response capabilities. This approach leverage each platform built-in features to create a unified automated defense against ransomware across multi-cloud environments. So what is AWS Security Hub? AWS Security Hub provides a centralized view of management security alerts and compliance status within AWS services. Easily integrate with open source tools like ClaimAV and Suricata for real-time threat detection and incident response automation. Azure Sentinel, a cloud-native security information and event management, it's the same tool that uses AI to detect, investigate, and respond to threats. Enhance ransomware defense by integrating with Suricata for automated threat detection and response. GCP Security Command Centers offers a unified security management and threat platform across Google Cloud assets, supports integration with open source tools for comprehensive visibility into ransomware threats and proactive incident response. So we are moving to the next slide. So comprehensive guide of cloud security. So first is data asset classification is far crucial. If we have no knowledge, if we have no idea where is our assets, so how we can secure them? It's a data discovery second. And third is log reporting, user behavior analytics, and then we will jump into people's. Then we can manage access control, like where we can, for robust security, we can implement zero trust model, RBAC, role-based access control with the context of least privileges. We make sure to every person has authorized access. Then we can implement authentication, boundary enforcement, logical segmentations, configuration hardening, key management, and then encryption. We make sure all data in transit or in rest will be encrypted. So if we follow these steps, so we can, I would say, we can implement a multi-layered security. Moving to the next slide. So automated remediation strategies for ransomware incidents. So how we can automate these steps without our minimal human intervention. So automated remediation strategies for ransomware incident involve using predefined processes to identify, isolate, and mitigate ransomware attacks with minimal human intervention. These strategies aim to reduce response times, minimize damage, and restore normal operations swiftly, enhancing overall security posture. So rapid isolation of affected system. Automation allow for immediate identify and isolate of affected system to prevent further spread of ransomware across the network. automated backups and recovery. Integrating automated backup solution ensure that the data can be quickly restored to a safe state, reducing downtime and data loss. Real-time threat response. Automated systems can implement predefined response actions such as blocking malicious processes or IP addresses and neutralize threats as they occur. Continuous monitoring and alerts is very crucial. Automated tools provide a continuous monitoring of system activities like generating alerts for suspicious behavior and facilitating prompt remediation actions. So challenges and solutions in ransomware detection. So what challenges we are facing and what is the solution for that? So ransomware detection in multi-cloud environment prevents several challenges due to the complexity and diversity of cloud architecture. Effective detection and response requires a combination of advanced tools, strategies, and collaboration across various cloud platforms. Open source tools like Lemevi, Suricata, OSAC, and Snort play a vital role in mitigating these challenges. Also, they have a limitation, but we can integrate with like cloud native services, so we can implement a multi-layer approach. So complexity of multi-cloud architecture. Different cloud providers offer unique security features and configuration, making it challenging to implement a consistent detection strategy across environments. Data CDS and lack of visibility. The disparate system can lead to fragmented security data, making it difficult to gain a comprehensive view of potential ransomware threats across multiple cloud platforms. Evolving ransomware techniques. Ransomware attackers continuously adopt their techniques, making it crucial for detection. We make sure to all our softwares or tools are every time updated. Importance of layer defense. I would say no single tool can provide a whole protection. Combining open source tools with cloud native features, we can implement a multi-layer defense against ransomware. So these are the challenges, 5 challenges which we are facing while integrating new solution into existing ones. So first, integration with existing tools. It's very hard to integrate a new solution into existing ones. Second is complexity, false positive and false negative, how data is accurate and not, and then cost, and then 5 is vendor lock-in, single vendor lock-in. So moving to the next slide, conclusion. So in summary, effective combating ransomware in multi-cloud environment requires a strategic combination of open source tools and cloud native solutions. So ransomware awareness is far crucial. If we have no idea, if we have no awareness regarding ransomware, what is ransomware and how it's spread, so how we can secure our network or infrastructure. So understanding the threat of ransomware is essential for developing a proactive security posture. Multi-cloud challenges. The complexity of multi-cloud architecture necessitates consistent security measures and visibility across platforms. Importance of open source tools. Solutions like ClaimAV, Suricata, OSAC, and Snort offers a cost-effective, adaptable defense against ransomware. Automated remediations. Implementing automated strategies can enhance response times, minimize damage from ransomware incidents. Layer defense strategy. Integrating open source tools with cloud native features create a robust defense against evolving ransomware threats. So if we follow all these steps, so we can implement a multi-layer security approach against ransomware. So thank you for watching my presentation. Now you can ask questions.
Okay, thank you, Anas. You can stop your screen. Are you sure? Okay. All right, so it's a good presentation. The only thing I would add was basically the topic is very generic because it's not that detailed enough because it's at level 3. However, the presentation, you're using very dark tones, right? So try to use something, we have provided you, and time and again, we tell our students not to use dark backgrounds. Try to use, simple backgrounds, no italics, nothing like that. It makes it easier. But the presentation was okay. It was good. Now let's jump into the Q&A session. There's going to be a series of questions, right? And I'm going to give you the series of questions are going to cover basically all the key aspects, right? They will be easier, intermediate, advanced, and expert level questions. And then there will also be a bonus level question as well if you want to score the bonus level, right? Okay. So the first question I have is just like, explain how, just give me 1 minute. Since I've written, okay. So explain how Clam AV, Clam AV, real-time scanning feature can be integrated with the AWS CloudWatch for ransomware detection. How would you do that?
So we can use Clay maybe in AWS like for scanning the file. Clay maybe rely on signature-based detection. So we can implement and they continuously scan the S3 buckets. So
So essentially, if I have to install Clam AV with
we
an
have to install it
AWS
on the server.
CloudWatch, how would I go about? How would I do that? Right. So what do I need to do?
First, we need to install Clay maybe on EC2 instance server, and then we can use like CloudWatch for monitoring and their integration Clay maybe to S3 buckets and other files. They continuously scan the files
That's right.
for
That's right.
any.
That's the correct answer. So install Clam AV,
Yeah.
on the EC2 instance, configure the CloudWatch agent to monitor the Clam AV logs. Then you create CloudWatch matrices for scan results. You know what kind of matrices you're looking for. Then setting up the CloudWatch alarms for detected threats. You know what kind of alarms you want to set. And then perhaps if you have some kind of notification mechanism, you use SNS or something like that, for notification purposes like emails or whatever, right? Okay, that's good. What specific components are required to implement a basic ransomware detection system using Securicata in GCP, right? It's security. So if you have to use Securicata on GCP, what do you have to do?
So if you implement Suricata, so Suricata it acts as an IDS intrusion detection system and intrusion prevention system. So we can implement them with like subnets, like routers, and we can setting their configuration on the IPs level. So they continuously monitor the network traffic. So if any anomaly detects, so they may immediately identify and isolate
That's
them.
perfect. Perfect answer. I'm going to ask you something. When you started the course here, did you had a job?
Yes.
No, no. When you
No, no, no,
start
no, 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 no. When I was joined Al Nafi, so I had zero experience in IT.
So
So
are you working somewhere right now?
yeah, right now I am working as an
Because you
associate
answered me
DevOps
a
engineer.
very you provided me a very hands-on answer. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you were able to
Alhamdulillah.
find a job
Yeah,
while doing this.
yeah, Faisal bhai, it's all credit goes to you, Al Nafi and team, because right now, Alhamdulillah, I'm working as an associate DevOps engineer.
Associate dev, that's great, mashallah. That's great because you're providing me answers which are very hands-on. That's why I'm asking you. Okay, that's good. That's good. Good to know that, the whole focus that we have at, these EduQual diplomas are designed as per the job requirements, right? So now this is a true testament that, you're working and you were able to find a job. Okay, that's great. So if you have to compare Azure Sentinel and AWS Security Hub in terms of ransomware detection capabilities, what are the key differences between both of them?
Not a huge difference, but it offers on services. So if there is not centralized management, so it's very hard to manage all of those services because it's the diversity of cloud architecture and their services. So, but
Okay. So basically, one of them, this is my right hand, this is my left hand, right? So this is Azure Sentinel, and this is Security Hub, right, from Amazon. They're both the same. One of them has Azure has native integration with their own tools, Microsoft 365, automated response playbooks, machine learning based anomaly detection and stuff like that. The AWS has custom security standards, cross-region aggregation, automated remediation, event bridge, and stuff like that. CIH benchmarks. They're both the
yeah.
same, but they have some subtle differences. Essentially, they're both the same. Okay, that's good. That was a tough answer, brother. Okay, I'm very happy. So if you have to design a cross platform logging strategy for Climb AV alerts or any other kind of solution, how would you go about? How would you do that? It's a class cross-platform means, as it is mentioned in your presentation, one is AWS network, the other one is Azure network. This is cross-platform. They're both different platforms, right? How would you go about doing that?
We can integrate with like APIs. We can use APIs, centralized centralized monitoring. So where we can track both like AWS, Azure, their scanning like ClaimAB or Suricata. So if any anomaly detects, so we can monitor them.
Okay. So essentially, you will configure all the log collectors to put the data somewhere so that you can analyze the
Yes.
logs and then present
Yes.
some reports, right? Okay. Okay. If you have to, what are the benefits you can accrue by using AWS SageMaker? Do you know AWS SageMaker? It's one
No.
of their it's one of their machine learning, tool. Like, okay, so if you want to integrate artificial intelligence, AI, LLM, something like that, to enhance the climb AB detection capabilities, uh, what benefits can you accrue from it?
A lot of benefits, I can say, because if you use AI, so we can train on LLM models. So based on logs, based on data. Like if you say ClaimAB, so ClaimAB have not ability to detect zero-day ransomware because they only rely on signatures, which is well known. So if we want to detect zero-day ransomware, so where we can integrate like on LLM models, so train the data from Suricata, so it's log analysis. So if any zero-day ransomware or encrypted data, so they will be able to.
Okay, that's good. Okay. So essentially, what it means is like if you deploy some kind of large learning model or machine learning capabilities, then you perhaps can look into detecting zero-day vulnerabilities as it is taking place rather than just relying on signature-based
Yes,
IDS IPS, right?
yes, yes.
Okay, that's good stuff. All right, so let's jump on. Okay. So how does CLAM AV on access scanning feature work in Linux environments? And how can it be
Like
optimized for cloud workloads?
like if you use ClaimAB, so first we need to install on install on server like any type of server like Ubuntu, CentOS, any type of server. First we need to install them, and then after that we can scan that or entire directory, root directory, or any specific directories if we want to scan them, or any malware or something they have. So they
Should we
if you,
always, for optimization purposes, right? So for optimization purposes, right? Should we always create some kind of exclusion zones while doing these scans that don't
so
scan this, but scan everything else?
yes, we have to segregate the files or directories. If we have to scan like these files or these directories, so instead of we can scan whole root directories, something like that.
What will happen if you scan the whole root directory?
I can say it's not any consequences, but it takes a lot of time. So instead of you can like it depends on our need. Like if we have any doubt or files or directories, so first we need to scan them. After that
You're
we can.
doing a good job. Just relax, relax. Okay. Just loosen up, loosen up. Don't worry. Okay. So how do you scan temporary files in Securicata?
Like any file if you want to
Where
scan
does
using.
where does temporary files reside? in Linux.
/temp directory.
So what kind of scanning can you do for those things?
Like we can use claim AV for scanning all temporary directory files.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, you use RAM-based scanning for temporary files. Right? Temporary files are normally reside
Yeah,
in
it's in memory. It's in RAM.
memory.
After rebooting the server, they
Yes,
are
so
disappeared.
there are some files that resides in the RAM, so you have to do the RAM-based scanning as well.
Yeah.
All right, so explain how to implement an automated quarantine procedure using Azure functions for infected files. How would you do that?
So where we can first we can create our scripts, like we can use Bash and Python. So if like using ClaimAV and Suricata, so we can use them. Like if ClaimAV any detect malware or any signature, so it will automatically generate the alert or email us something like that. So we can automate all these processes.
Okay, your topic is highly technical. That's why I have to dig in deeper for that, right? Because it's a level 3 topic, it's more hands-on, right? So I have to dig in deeper because what we teach in level 3 is all about Linux and security and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
That's why it is known as Diploma in Cloud Security, right? So if you have to design a cross-platform backup verification system that checks for ransomware indicators, what would you do? How would you do that?
Like if we want to take the backup of our of multiple servers.
So it's a system which is a cross-platform system on AWS and Azure and GCP. You have to verify a backup verification system for checking ransomware. Normally sometimes ransomware resides in the backup as well.
Yes, sure.
So how would you check? What would you do to see
So
like if there is any ransomware in the backups? Because the last thing you need is like there's a ransomware attack, everything is locked out, and you say, you know what? Let's go back to the backups. When you go to the backups, ransomware is
yes,
there as well,
yes,
right?
yes.
What kind of proactive measures you have to take to ensure that you are safe?
So at that scenario, as per
You have to
my point of
verify
view,
things like there are 4 things you have to do. 4 things.
first,
What do you
like where first we need to ensure where is our backup saved, like any server, where is backup, or
Whether
AWS,
it's
Azure, or
like full
GCP,
backup, incremental backup,
incremental backup using
no,
our sync, so on and
yes, I
so forth.
mean, whatever
So
there it is, right?
yes, so
So what kind of
after
things so there are 2 things. There are self indicators, and then there are ways of verifying the backup, right? So what are the self indicators?
self indicators we can implement there, like we can use ClaimAV and Suricata and use on scripts like Bash, Python. So if any type of anomaly detect, so it will generate the alert
So
and
the self
email us.
indicators are encryption patterns. Is it encrypted, locked, crypted, whatever, right? Is
Yes.
there any ransomware notes? Sometimes they do is like they leave a README text file, how to decrypt and stuff
Yeah.
like that, right? So you go for entropy threshold, you check all of these things, right?
I'm
I've
managing in
in
my
my career, I've seen so many of these things, and even today I see these things
uh,
happening again and again. Then
Can I add something? I'm
yes,
like spoofing emails. I right now I'm working. So every day we are blocked a lot of spam emails on servers. We are email service provider as well. So I'm managing all of those servers. So I know spoofing a lot.
yeah, I mean that's a big problem. Okay, that's a right answer. So the how do you verify the backups? There are 4 things as I mentioned, 4 things.
So first, if we are taking backup, so first we need to ensure its backup or
Integrity checks. You do the
integrity,
integrity checks,
it's
right?
reliable.
You do the entropy analysis. Are there like any changes in the file? Something there is
Integrity,
indicator scan,
file
and it's
integrity.
timestamp verification. There are 4 things. Anyway, that was a tough question. I'm going to give you half point for that. Okay, so We're going to jump into some of the tougher questions now because you have passed the threshold of 10 questions. So if you have to design a zero trust architecture for ransomware protection in a multi-cloud environment, what things you will take into consideration?
So if we are implementing zero trust model in multi-cloud environment, so first when we implement zero trust model, so in
What does zero trust really means?
zero trust really means in the beginning every person has no access, like any user, anything, any application has no access.
Zero access
It's
by default. By default,
zero.
no one
After
has
that,
access to anything.
after that, we will evaluate depending on RBAC, role-based access control, with the context of least privileges. So if we really need to give them access or not.
So essentially, identity management, access control, network segmentation, and monitoring.
Network segmentation is for person. Yes.
Yes. Okay, these are the kinds of architectural components you will take into consideration for designing zero trust architecture. Okay. Okay, let's jump on to, you mentioned there is no single tool while you were presenting. There is no single tool for protection against, ransomware. What does it mean?
It basically it's mean like if you only rely on a single open source tool or any other tool like I would say like ClaimAV. So if you are only rely on ClaimAV, so it's have not ability to check zero-day ransomware because it's rely on signature based attack. So signature based. So what
So
it does, it basically
what is the solution for that? What is the solution?
solution for that, I would say we have to consider open not single a lot of other open source tools with cloud native services, like they are offering on security services. So we can, if we implement these type of all tools and services, all services together, so we can implement
So
a multi-layer
essentially,
security.
if someone comes to you, you're working in a company, you now work, mashallah. So someone comes to you and say, Anas, we have a great deal. This is an excellent tool that will stop all kinds of ransomware attack. Is that a true statement?
No,
So these guys are lying?
no, because I would say no single tool can provide whole security.
This is the most important thing you have to understand in the industry, in the cybersecurity industry, right? If someone comes to you and say, buy this tool and everything will be resolved, that is untrue, right? You have to use a combination of things to be successful in preventing a cyber attack, right? So, in terms of like people and process and technology, right? What is the most important thing in stopping a ransomware attack?
Topic like people, processes, and technology is far crucial is people, because
People.
because I know you are CSSP, so you can say there a lot of time people is far crucial as well. Then
In an organization, it's always people who comes first, right?
yes,
If they are stupid, they are not trained fully, and they make
yeah,
a very negligent mistake, or they are ignorant of the fact that they have to comply with these things, then this will create lots of problems. There is no cure for stupidity, right?
yes.
And people do make stupid mistakes.
The
So
major
you
issue
have to
is
keep on training,
awareness.
to keep on
Yeah,
providing
yeah,
training, lunch and learn sessions and stuff like that to make sure that they understand. Now, it's a human nature that they might make a mistake. So that's why the first line of defense is the people, the second line of defense is the process, the third line is the technology. And even if you train them, if they make a mistake, it's the process that will try to stop it. And then the last piece is technology, right? So remember that. Okay.
yes.
That's good stuff. Good stuff. Okay. Uh, so the next question I have, hold on. So critically assess the effectiveness of using CLAM, AV, and Securicata for ransomware defense in high traffic multi-cloud environment. What would you do to ensure that it's a high traffic multi-cloud environment? Just like you work at a ISP, right?
Yeah.
For example, people are using internet, this and that and whatnot, right? How would you ensure at an ISP level that what kind of defense would you like to have to make sure that you're able to stop these kinds of attacks, which are being perpetuated on these users? What would you do?
Like at access, we can Suricata implement like other firewall rule as well. So which any like any type of attack, so they can stop them.
Can you stop these attacks?
No, not really,
Why? Yes, I mean the answer is no, yes, but why?
because sorry,
Explain why.
I'm not stopping this type of attack because it's a network domain. So
So you're an ISP, you provide me internet, right? I'm using
yeah,
your internet, right? And then uh, I'm going about browsing the internet, doing my stuff, doing my business, etc., etc. But then there is an attack. Can you stop that attack on me? Can you do that? Do you have the ability to do that?
yes, we can stop that.
How?
We can
First you said no.
isolate.
Now you're telling me, yes, I
No,
can stop that.
I cannot fully understand your question. So like,
Okay, so let me. This is the tougher one. This is an expert level question, right? We're going into the expert level now. So, uh, you are, for example, an internet service provider, right? And I'm your customer. I'm using your modem to connect to and go to the internet, right? There's a connection connecting at my house. For example, I'm here, a Rogers customer, Rogers and Bell. Both of these guys provide fiber to my house. And you are Rogers, right? So it is mentioned in your presentation as well. Now, what happens is that I'm going about doing my stuff, etc., etc. But now there's a ransomware attack happening on me. First of all, can you see my traffic? What am I
yes,
doing?
if you are monitoring, so we can analyze the network traffic. So first, after that, we can
How would you
isolate that.
analyze the traffic? The traffic is encrypted.
Like if you use Suricata, so if you are using Suricata in organization, so Suricata have ability to detect any encrypted way traffic.
It
So
can
on.
only
So
detect encrypted traffic. It can't see
ex-
it can see that traffic is encrypted. It's going back and forth, but it can't do anything else.
so even
My
if
privacy is protected because I am using either a VPN, which is totally encryption, or I'm connecting to Google, right? And whatever I do on Google, it's encrypted through SSL between me and Google, right?
yeah,
How would you be able to see what am I doing until you have the decryption keys to see? So that's why it is important
at that
that you can see the traffic increasing. Yes, something is happening. There's a
yeah,
DDoS attack happening or something like that, but you won't be able to stop the
stop them.
attack.
Yes, stop.
You might be able to detect it and prevent it in some way because of the anomaly detection that you are seeing, but truly you won't be able to stop that attack, right? Until and unless you have network taps installed and you have encryption decryption keys. Normally, this happens with the agencies like the NSA, the CSIS in Canada, the like the GCHQ in UK. These are the bodies which are able to tap into and see the traffic. And in the European Union, you can't do that, right? So that was a tough question. Okay, so um, how does your project align with current technology trends and what future applications do you foresee?
Could you elaborate something? I
So
couldn't
you
understand.
presented your whole project, right?
Yeah, yeah.
you can use Suricata and some of the other tools in multi-cloud environment, this and that, people, process, technology. You talked about all the things. Now, how does your project align with the current technological trends? What is happening? AI is coming, right? It's already infusing. Artificial
Yes.
intelligence operations is the next big thing for the next 20, 30 years. What future applications do you foresee that will happen in a
Like
multi-cloud?
future applications, I would say if we are up my web application is running in Kubernetes architecture, so where we can integrate CI/CD pipelines, so integrate with them like we can integrate CI/CD pipeline or AI to detect if any if any if any anomaly detect.
So
So
essentially, future applications may involve integrating artificial intelligence operations
yes,
to improve threat detection and automated response actions in a much more sophisticated and adaptive ways, right? That's what is
adaptive.
upon the horizon.
Yes.
That's what is coming, okay? All right, so let me see the questions I have. So if you have to create a playbook, a threat hunting playbook for ransomware in a multi-cloud environment, right? How how would you go about doing that? How would you build that?
Like we can use if you are using claim AV for that. In that perspective, you are asking.
Okay, let me see. Let me take a step back. So the threat hunting, so what are the threat hunting phases? What's the phase number one?
First is identify.
Identify, intelligence gathering, MSI,
After that, if
MISP threat feeds, cloud provider security advisories, internal telemetry coming from the switches, the routers, the firewalls, and everything, and third-party intelligence, right? That's
after
intelligence.
that second step is isolate the affected system. It's very crucial.
Hypothesis development, right?
Hypothesis.
Hypothesis, unusual encryption patterns, suspicious admin activities, abnormal network traffic that you just mentioned, and
And then
backup deletion
isolate the
attempts.
network.
If someone is trying to delete backups, that's an indication ransomware has infiltrated into the network, right? What is the
Yes.
third? What is the third step?
Isolate the affected system.
So the third step is the first was intelligence gathering. The second was hypothesis development. The third is investigation tools. You know, you look at AWS, Azure, GCP tools, whatever tools they have. In the
Yes.
case of AWS, Guard Duty, CloudTrail, VPC flow logs. In Azure, Sentinel queries, Security Central alerts, Network Watcher logs, whatever, right? And the same goes in GCP. What is the last step?
Like last step for awareness, like what
Analysis
we have
procedure. The last step is
analysis.
pattern matching, behavior
Yes.
analysis, IOC, correct correlation. Yeah, what does IOC really means? You have covered this in the course.
IAC infrastructure, IAC,
No, no,
almost
IOC.
IOC infrastructure of
IOC correlation. It is known as indicator of compromise correlation.
indicator of components.
And a very tough topic, right?
Yes, it is.
It's a tough topic. But you did well. I mean, I will tell you the score once we are done with that. Okay, let me see. So on slide number one of the slide overview of multi-cloud environments, right? It is mentioned compliance and risk management. Why is this important in a multi-cloud environment?
It's
Why?
very crucial, like compliance, like if any banking sector, so they have to comply PCI DSS standard, and if any pharmaceutical sector, so they have to compliance GDPR. So this type of compliance, it's very essential to like if any first how we can secure our network, our infrastructure. So if any incident happens, so after that, which steps you have to follow?
Okay. Multi-cloud strategies basically help organizations comply with the regulatory requirements,
Regulatory
data
framework.
sovereignty laws. What is data sovereignty law? What does it mean?
Data
Data
sovereignty.
residency and data sovereignty.
Data sovereignty laws, it's a like law, if any it's a data law, like if your data is stolen or any incident happen, like ransomware attack happen, so how could you restore from the backups or any type of after that, which type of activity you have to do?
Data sovereignty law means like the data cannot leave the country. It is sovereign to the country, right? Right? That's what it means. And data residency law, the data needs to reside within the country.
Within the country.
Within the country. Are there any data sovereignty laws? Where are you based right now?
I am in Karachi.
In Karachi, Pakistan, right?
Yeah,
Are
yeah,
there any
Pakistan.
residency and data sovereignty laws here?
Yes, it is.
Are you sure?
Mhm. Yeah, obviously.
There are no data residency or data sovereignty laws. If there would have been, then they would have made. Okay, let me ask you a question. So you said like there are data residency and data sovereignty laws in Pakistan, right? So if I'm Facebook, right? What does it mean that, and when you log into the Facebook, where does your data resides? In Pakistan or in US?
No, no, it's outside the Pakistan. But I'm saying in that perspective,
You
like
just
it's a
answered your question saying you just mentioned to me there are data residency and data sovereignty laws, and now you're saying
no, no,
data doesn't reside here, it goes
no,
outside. This is the difference, right? So there are no data residency,
no
data
data.
sovereignty laws. There are none. If there would have been, then Facebook would have had their data center in Pakistan,
Pakistan.
where when their users connect or whatever their users do or share or whatever they do, the data resides inside Pakistani physical and logical boundaries, right? So there is nothing. So keep this in mind. What does GDPR really means? You know what GDPR really means?
GDPR is a framework for helping
What does it
sector.
mean?
Mm, I'm not in mind in that abbreviation, like GDPR.
So GDPR really means is like General Data Privacy Regulation, right? And what it means is like all the uh, basically all the data of the European citizens cannot leave the physical and logical boundary of the European countries, right?
European data. Yes.
Right. That's why they have all these countries. They have their data centers in those countries. That's the reason, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to go back to your presentation. You have shown this thing, which is guide to cloud security, right? Where's authentication, access control, security, secondary approval, user behavior analytics, logging and reporting,
Yes.
key management. What is key management? What does key management really means?
Like key management is far crucial, like where your API keys and other essential keys are managed, like AWS offer KMS, key management system. So so on and so forth. So these type of essential, like passwords or API keys or other keys. So we have to make sure their integrity. So we have to store them in a secure way.
So key, uh, should we rotate the keys? how often should we rotate the keys?
It depends, but it's essential to we have to rotate the keys, because if we are rotating the keys, so it's hacking chances, it's normal.
No, I'm asking you, why is it essential to rotate the keys? So there's encryption and decryption, right?
Yes.
So you encrypt the data and then you decrypt the data. But normally, uh, depending on what kind of encryption you're using, there are key management practices. So once a year, you should normally rotate the key, or every time they are tamper with, you should rotate the keys, or whatever the case is. There has to be a mechanism where the keys are managed properly in a secure fashion, right? What kind of encryption do we use for key management? There are two kinds of encryption.
AES encryption, advanced encryption standard,
No, I'm not talking about the kind of encryption scan. I'm
RSA,
No,
RSA,
I'm saying two types: symmetric and asymmetric.
symmetric, yeah, symmetric and asymmetric.
Okay. All right, and your interview is done. Would you like to know if you have passed or not?
Yeah, obviously.
You said, yeah, obviously. Okay, in the presentation, you scored 20 out of 25. Okay,
Okay.
it was a good presentation, but it was very verbose. You have to make it a bit lighter. The background was a bit dark, but like apart from that, the presentation was good. The way you were able to flow and explain everything, so on and so forth. The topic was technical. Everyone gets a different topic. There are different topics. Yours was related to clam and securicata and stuff like that. You scored 15 out of 25 in the Q&A session, right? So that total comes to 35 out of 50, which is 70% mass. So you scored 70%. You have passed your diploma pending your review of the MCQ, right? So there will be a report coming to me. And as I've mentioned to you before starting of the exam, we are deploying AI to analyze all the results, right? So you have passed the thing. Now, there are certain words of advice I'm going to give it to you, but you have to share something with me. So you joined us in February 2023, right?
Yes, February
And what
2023.
is your base qualification? I mean, what do you do?
My
Before
base
joining
qualification,
us, you were grade 10, 12?
my base qualification is metric 10.
Metric, so that's equivalent to O level, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So how old are you?
24.
24. So you left your education. What happened?
Yes, I left my education.
Okay, so you had a chance to start again. I'm very happy. So you started in February 2023 and you started studying this DCCS diploma, right?
Yes, first I studied DCCS, and while studying, Alhamdulillah, I was secured a job as an associate, as an senior
After how
administrator.
long?
7 to 8 months.
7 to 8 months. It's good.
Yes,
So when I tell someone that, if you study for 7 to 8 months, you can secure a job, that is true.
yes, it is true.
They pay attention.
100%. 100%.
People fight with me and they misbehave. I've stopped picking up their phone calls because they don't listen, right? So I tell them, like, we are here to put you on the job. Are you going through Al Razak program right now?
No, I'm not going at Razak program, but at Razak Labs, I did that. I
How many of the Al Razak labs you did?
All of them which I have access.
Uh,
Almost,
the open
almost,
shift one and stuff like that, right?
almost 50, 40 to 50 something.
So did that give you the confidence that now you understand more, now you
Yes.
can do more? Okay.
It's
There are
same
more coming in.
which we are right now. I'm working. It's
It's
same.
difficult. It's
Yes.
difficult. So you secured the job, like, so what is your salary, if I may ask, right? If you are comfortable in telling me.
It right now I'm
What
getting
is your, okay, don't answer that question. What is your ROI? What was your ROI, whatever you paid here, how long it took you to get it back?
like ROI 4x, I would say.
How many? How much? How many months?
Sorry,
How many months it took you to whatever you paid here in terms of studying, you were able to get it back?
5 to 6 months.
5 to 6 months.
Yes.
Great. So whatever you paid, you were able to earn that in your salary and you took it back, right?
Yes. Right.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I'm really happy for you. Okay, so congratulations, Anas Khan. You are level 3 certified, pending the results, verification, and review. You have passed your exam, part 2. For the level 3 DCCS, uh, I'm really happy. I have failed a couple of students in the past when we were not broadcasting the exam. So I gave them another chance to go back and review and come back to me, right? You are not one of them, but you were able to pass
Alhamdulillah.
the exam. The exam was not, I wouldn't say it was too difficult, but there are new things coming up. From January of 2025, we will start introducing more labs, more stuff in there to make the
Okay.
exam slightly more difficult. We just want to give you a little bit of gray hair, right? In your head and in your beard, right? Just to make sure like you have some hair, gray hair on your, on your head and some in your beard as well because of the stress you have to go through. I'm going to put some stress on the students, right? Just to make sure like they come out enough stress that they come out much better prepared for the real world, right? That is the whole idea. I'm happy. I'm really proud that you have secured a job even before completing the diploma. Do you have
Sir,
any questions
I
for
would
me?
say, I only say this credit all goes to you and Al Nafi, like Sir Kazim, Sir Abdi Ali, and Sir Shams. So,
So,
and
the credit in Islam, the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, Alhamdulillah allazi bi ni'matihi tutimmu salihat. All praises belongs to Allah, from whom good things are accomplished. Right?
indeed,
So we don't praise anyone.
no, no,
We praise Allah. No, I'm
I,
just giving
I'm
you. I
not saying
know,
at
no,
that
you
perspective.
appreciate. You appreciate
Yeah,
uh, all the people who worked in towards who ensured that you go towards a successful path. Right? I'm
yes,
really happy, but I'm just giving you a lesson that
thank you.
always praise Allah, and you will go at high places. Go and study. Um, HNC and HND is coming up. After
Okay,
doing this, you can do HNC, HND, AI Ops, and you can move to the States. You know, we have
mm,
passed our Pearson level 1. We are going through level 2 right now. By January, we'll be able to do so. Now in the Pearson, there is no exam. It's only assignments. But if you complete all of that, then you will be able to land in the US and you can start working there, right? You're 24. By the time you're 26, 25, 26, you should be in the States, right? You don't have
inshallah.
to do any BTAC. You can you can pass that because you already have level 3 qualification, RQF level 3, right? Keep on
Okay.
working hard. I wish you the really best in your professional career and
Thank you,
and
sir.
your personal
Jazakallah.
life. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out to us anytime. And yeah, keep on moving forward and keep on cracking and keep on learning new stuff. Do not stop your learning journey, otherwise you will become, just today I was telling someone that you have to keep on learning, and keep on making sure that you are able to secure better and better opportunities. Okay? Thank you
Yes.
for your time, and I
Thank you.
wish you
Thank you, sir. Jazakallah. Allah
Barakallah.
Hafiz.